All right, hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. I wish you all a happy Christmas and a happy New Year. So, when I started watching F1 in February this year, 2024, like in February, it was the first time I started watching F1, and thank God I did because this year turned out to be one of the best season of F1, like a season that will go down in F1 history. And thank God I did because just like that, I found my favorite sport. But when I started watching F1 this year, there were so many terms that they were using that I couldn't understand. I couldn't wrap my head around. But over the course of me watching F1 for the whole of 2024 season, I've come to understand some of those words, and that's what we're going to be discussing in this video. Because in this video are all the F1 terms you should know before watching F1, or at least F1 terms for beginners. Well, before we start discussing anything, guys, I am Meno and this is my YouTube channel. And in this channel, we talk cars and all things cars. So if you're interested, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, watch the video to the end, and if you like it, give the video a thumbs up. With that said, thank you for tuning in. Let's get the video started. Alright, starting off with term number one. And term number one is pole position. So what is pole position? Well, pole position is the front line or the first place in the grid position when starting a race. It's the most advantageous position to start from since you're starting ahead of every other driver on the grid. I don't know if you play like car racing games or like, let's say, take BB racing for example. So you notice that when starting the race, the players are arranged in this format, and there is always one driver that is starting ahead of every other person on the grid, and that position that first driver is starting from is called pole position. And your grid position on the race start is going to be determined in qualifying, which are usually held on Saturdays. And that brings me on to term number two, which is qualifying. So now coming over to term number two, which is qualifying. And qualifying is the section of the race weekend usually held on Saturdays. So in qualifying, drivers try to set a fast lap time possible to end up in a good position to start the race on Sunday. So when you end up on the timesheet in qualifying determines where you're going to be starting the race from on Sundays. So qualifying is divided into three phases: Q1, Q2, and Q3. So in Q1, drivers try as much as possible to set a good lap time to take them out of the drop zone, which is from 16th to 20th, because there are 20 drivers on the grid currently. So in Q1, after Q1 section, the bottom five drivers are eliminated, which is from 16th to 20th. So in Q1, drivers try as much as possible to set a good lap time to take them out of the drop zone. And mind you, pole position is not decided in this phase. So at the end of Q1, the bottom five drivers are eliminated, and they'll be starting the race on Sunday from 16th to 20th in the order of the fastest to the slowest. So if you're eliminated in 16th place in the qualifying in Q1, you're going to be starting the race on Sunday in 16th. And in Q2 is basically the same thing. Drivers try as much as possible to escape from the drop zone, which is now from 11th to 15, since the bottom five drivers are eliminated first in the Q1. So there are 15 drivers competing in Q2. So at the end of Q2, the bottom five drivers are eliminated, which is from 11 to 15. So if you're eliminated in 13th place in Q2, you're going to be starting the race on Sunday from 13th place. And that brings us onto Q3. And in Q3 is the final top 10 shootout, no elimination. Drivers now try as much as possible to set the fastest lap time to bag pole position. And at the end of Q3, the driver with the fastest lap time gets pole position, and they'll be starting the race on Sunday in pole position from the first place. So if you end up, if you set the, like, let's say, fifth fastest time on the timesheet, you're going to be starting the race on Sunday from fifth place. So that's how qualifying works. Now term number three is undercut. So what is undercut? Undercut is a technique that the driver behind uses to get ahead of the driver in front. So this is how it works. So let's take, for example, we are racing each other on the track and you are ahead of me and I'm behind. So, and it's like mandatory that at some point in the race, we are going to come in to change our tires. And when we're like getting close to the end of our tires, I'll dip into the garage first, change off my tire, and come out with a much fresher and faster tire than you, and start like closing the gap to you little by little, like closing that gap to you, since you're still on the old tires that have less grip. So that when you go into the pits, change your tires and come out, you are going to come out behind me. Yes. So the success of this depends on some factors like the pit stop time and the pace of the car. So if you have like a really good pace and the pit stop is really really fast, like it doesn't take that long in F1 to change all four tires, like 3 seconds at most. So anything longer than 3 seconds is considered slow. That's the standard of F1, and some people do this in under 2 seconds. That's how mind-blowing F1 is. So when everything goes according to plan and you switch up your tire, come out, close the distance to the driver ahead of you, and so that when they go change their tires and come out, they come out behind you, we say that you have undercut that driver. So that's how undercut works. So term number four is overcut. So what is overcut? Overcut is not like necessarily the direct opposite of undercut. Well, overcut is a technique that the driver in front uses to stay in front and remain in front. So this is how it works. Overcut is when the driver ahead like builds up a huge gap to the driver behind that they can go in, change their tires and come out and still be ahead of the driver behind. So let's take for example, you are in front of me and I'm behind, and you build such a huge gap to me that you go in, change your tires and come out and you're still ahead of me. So that when I change my tires and come out, the distance is just gonna be like really really long. So at that point it's just bye bye and you're just gone. So that's how overcut works. Overcut is a technique that the driver ahead uses to stay in front and remain in front. Term number five is slipstream, and this is where it starts to get a little bit like scientific. So slipstream is like an area of less air resistance created by a car at high speed when driving on the track. So you're just like punching through the air. And when you're like punching through the air, you are creating like an area of less air resistance behind you when driving on the track, and most especially at high speed. So other drivers take advantage of this by driving directly behind another driver on the track. Like you can see, you're going to see it a lot on the track when like drivers like just trail behind another driver, and what they're doing, they are getting in the slipstream of the driver in front. Since the area behind the driver in front is like has less air resistance, which means that they can gain more top speed. Like like on some track, slipstream can be really really strong. Like the car behind can gain over like 10 kilometers an hour over the driver in front. Like when the cars are evenly matched, the driver like with the slipstream at the back can like gain enough momentum to dive bomb the driver in front in the upcoming corner. Like it's really really fascinating. Like it's just like driving through a cornfield, and the driver like behind is gaining the advantage because he doesn't have to drive like directly over the corns like to get going. Like the driver in front is doing the job for them. And in this case, it's air. So the driver in front is punching a hole in the air for them. So they are like trailing behind that driver, gaining the benefit of more top speed to like give the driver in front a very, very wicked dive bomb if they have like enough pace to do that, or like the grip to do that. So, but like the thing is that slipstream can be a double-edged sword. Yes. And now term number six. Term number six is tow. So like TOW, like towing a car. So tow is when the driver is driving directly behind another driver who's on track. So slipstream tow is basically the same thing. It's when the driver is like trailing behind another driver in front. So we say that our driver is in the tow, so like getting a tow from the driver in front, or the driver in front is giving tow to the driver behind. So it looks like the one in front is towing the one behind. So that's why it's called towing. So tow, slipstream, the same thing. Term number seven. Term number seven is DRS. And you're going to be hearing this one a whole lot of time because this one is really, really crucial to Formula One nowadays. So DRS stands for Drag Reduction System. It's a system in Formula One cars that can adjust some specific part of the bodywork to reduce aerodynamic drag, and in return you gain motor speed. So in Formula One cars, it's the rear wing. So the top element of the rear wing, when you activate the DRS system, it opens the top element of the rear wing, the top flap, allowing air to pass through, and by doing so, it reduces aerodynamic drag, and in return you gain motor speed. And on the track, there are DRS zones that are mainly on the streets because that's where you need less drag and more top speed. When you get there, like that's where you can like activate the DRS system. But there's a rule governing the DRS application. So if you're within 1 second of the driver in front of you, that's when you can like activate the DRS system. And if the driver behind is within 1 second of you, they can also switch on their DRS when they get within the DRS zone. So that's how it works. But like at first I was wondering why is it so? The driver behind gets DRS, but the driver in front doesn't. So they do this to like promote closer racing for entertainment, which is why F1 is focusing on nowadays. And yeah, in 2025, we're going to be getting a whole lot of entertainment. That's why if you're not watching F1, 2025 should be the year because it's really, really going to be tough. So that's how DRS works. DRS is a system in Formula 1 cars that can adjust some specific part of the bodywork to reduce aerodynamic drag and return a game on top speed. And then Formula 1 cars is the rear wing. So term number 8. Term number 8 is box, like BOX. So when you hear like race engineers tell their driver to box, it only means to come back into the pits, like into the garage, maybe for retirement or like to change tires or maybe to repair something on the car. So when you hear box, it only means come back into the garage. Now, term number 9, understeer and oversteer. And this is where it gets like really, really, really tough because some drivers cannot even explain this in the way that you would understand. But I'm gonna try my best to explain it in the way that you will understand. So understeer and oversteer. So understeer is when like you get to a corner. Like you can only experience this two when like taking corners. So understeer is when you get to a corner and you turn the wheels, like you turn the steering wheel to take the corner. But the wheels are not turning enough into the corner for you to take the corner. Like the output is less than the input. Like you fully turn your steering wheel, but the wheels are hesitating to like turn into the corner for you to take the corner. And at high speed, it can lead you to like go off the track and with your front wheels first. And on the other side, you have the oversteer. And oversteer is the opposite of understeer. Oversteer is when you get to a corner, like you turn the steering wheel a little bit and the wheels just commit into the corner, like turns into the corner much more than you want them to. That's the output is far greater than the input. Like you turn the wheels a little bit and the wheel just goes whoosh into the corner. And at high speed, it can lead to a spin off and you go off the track with your rear wheels first. So that's understeer and oversteer. Hope you understand. Last but not the least, term number 10, DNF. And this one is self-explanatory. DNF. It stands for did not finish. So DNF is when a driver, for some reason, did not finish a race, did not cross the finish line, maybe due to maybe crash, mechanical failure, driver failure, anything that made the driver like not finish a race. We say the driver has DNF'd. And that is it. DNF, did not finish. Simple. And with that, we've come to the end of the video, guys. If you like the video, please go ahead and give the video a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel for more and share it to your friends and family if you think they're going to like it. And if you want more of this F1 content, you want to see it more on the channel, let me know in the comment section down below. And if there is any car you want me to cover on the channel, or maybe any topic you want me to cover on the channel, let me know in the comment section down below. And with that said, thank you for watching and thank you for tuning in. Now we'll see you in the next one. Peace out and stay safe.